Imagine you are a castaway, lost at sea, just to find yourself washing ashore an island run by an ancient skeleton civilization. I'll have to conquer this mysterious island to discover the secrets and take down the Necromancer King. But really quickly, the majority of people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps me out and you can always change your mind later on. Now let's get into the 100 days. After waking up on a log floating through the ocean, I noticed I was washing ashore on an island. One problem: the island was being guarded by these skeletons. I quickly grabbed some wood from the driftwood I was on, crafted some essentials, and took out this skeleton warrior. Then I swam ashore, running to get away from the deadly skeletons I was up against. I found a gigantic wooden pirate ship off in the distance, which I ran to seek refuge. Once I was there, I climbed on top and looked around, and the area seemed pretty safe. So I started grabbing some materials and found this chest holding some bread and a few wheat seeds. I ate the bread and kept grabbing whatever I could from the ship. I got lots of wood and was even able to get some wool from the sails to craft into a bed. The next morning, I looked to the side of the ship and saw how many skeletons had gathered around. I couldn't stay on this ship forever, so I hopped down and did my best to get away from them. But after missing a jump, I fell down into the swarm. I quickly ran away and blocked myself up on top of this boulder. I ran across a creaky wooden bridge until I was safe. After running for a short while, I found myself in a forest, but not with trees. This was a very dangerous, dense stone forest. There were sharp rocks around every turn, and it was very hard to navigate. At least I was safe from any skeletons for now. But as I headed through the dense stone forest, I took lots of damage and my health had depleted down to just one heart. Terrified to lose one last bit of health, I decided to build my base right where I was standing. Yup, I literally broke into the side of this giant stone pillar and carved out a little place to live. I really needed a base. And to be honest with you, I thought this would be a temporary base just for the night. But I decided to stay here for most of my 100 days deserted on this island. So as I was carving out this room, I had but one thought: food. I had one heart and nothing to eat, which is terrifying. And honestly, I thought my time here on the island was done. But I planted a few wheat seeds and bone mealed them using some bones I got from the skeletons. This gave me a single piece of bread, which really didn't help me out much at all. So I got back to making my base while I waited for those to grow. And right about now is the perfect time to remind you guys that if you purchase G Fuels using my code, send me a picture on Discord or Twitter, and I'll be picking one of you this week to receive a free G Fuel tub of any flavor. Oh, and by the way, code GUILTY gets you 30% off. Okay, back to the video. I even decided to build myself a patio because right outside of my door was a drop to a pit of doom. So yeah, this was needed. And the next morning, it was back to building. I added in a large window to the base because there was a ton of beautiful scenery on the island. And I really think this added a lot to my home. After carving out a larger room, I set up some chests and planted some more wheat seeds. Then I crafted a better sword and headed out to see what other resources were around me. Yeah, this was a really bad idea. I'm on an unknown island with basically no gear. I figured if I had any chance of getting off this island, I had to act fast and gear up. And it didn't take me long to find something. Off in the distance, I saw some campfires burning. There was a small camp here. The people staying here can't be far away. They literally have fires burning. I was too excited to worry about this and quickly ran towards the tent, almost dying from some of these mobs. But eventually, I got myself some loot from a few of these chests, and the stuff inside was pretty fantastic. I looted the entire camp as quickly as I could, being careful to stay hidden from whoever is staying here. The loot here was super random, but so useful. I got an iron pickaxe, a fishing rod, and even a crossbow with a ton of arrows. This was definitely going to come in handy, I just knew it. As I finished looting the camp, I noticed an overgrown temple off in the distance. And as I got closer, I could see there were skeleton axe brutes guarding it.
I wonder what's in there. Must be something valuable if it has that much security. I'll have to come back when I have better gear.
I headed home to drop off all of my newfound loot I had gotten from the camp. This stuff is really going to come in handy later on. The next day, I left for a bit of an expedition to a spot on the island I saw on day 1. This little spot has boulders filled with iron and coal. I obviously need some armor if I'm going to be fighting that temple I saw last night. So I spent a bunch of time grabbing all the resources I could carry. And eventually headed back to my base where I smelted everything together. Then I crafted some armor, tools, and a shield. I spent some time farming to get a bit more food and then left to fight the temple. I just know there's going to be good loot inside that will help me survive, and who knows, maybe it will reveal some secrets about this place. I mean, the island is pretty mysterious. As I approached the temple, I was met by the guards. 2 gigantic skeleton axe brutes met me outside. As terrified as I was, I knew I needed to prove that I was the more powerful force on the island.
Dang, this guy is tough.
I got caught in the axe attack, getting my health down to just 4 hearts. I ran away to heal and then used my bow to get the last few shots on him. After this, I ran closer to the temple just to be met by 2 more brutes.
Alright, I just need to take these last 2 out.
Getting me down to just half a heart, I ran away behind this tent to heal. And dealt some damage to the brute, using my crossbow. Until he eventually was dead. After this, I ran past the other brute into the temple, where it was eerily quiet. I headed downstairs to a larger room, where I was met by a mist that dealt some damage to me. As I turned around, I noticed it was a floating skull. This island is full of crazy things. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. The skull did a few hearts of damage per hit. I ran away, hitting it with my bow and eventually finishing it with my sword. Once it was killed, I was left with all of this lovely treasure. Yeah, this made me instantly rich, as you can see. After grabbing every single golden block left in this temple, I ran home happy as could be. I quickly crafted myself an anvil and some diamond gear and added the enchants that I could. Boy, was I happy about this massive upgrade I had just gotten. Fighting that temple was well worth it. I realized how helpful the crossbow had been on my journey thus far, and wanted more arrows to use. So I went out looking for some chickens to farm because, well, they give feathers, which I'll need to craft arrows. I searched the entire half of the island for chickens and didn't come across a single one. Yeah, pretty sad, I know. After this, I was pretty sad and decided to pass the time fishing. This is a great way to get XP. And who knows what else I can get. I also really needed some food at this point, so getting a few fish couldn't hurt. That's when things took a dark turn. A thunderstorm broke out and a loud voice rattled the island.
This is Hedar, the Necromancer, keeper of the island. The spirits here are much more powerful than you could ever imagine. Leave now and never return. You have been warned.
Terrified by what I had just heard, I sprinted back to my base to sleep the storm away. The next morning when I woke up, I saw 2 dogs had found their way outside my door, and I decided to tame one of them. I really need someone to keep me company here. I named this guy Sunny and dyed his collar yellow to match. I instantly knew Sunny needed a home, so I carved out another stone for him to live inside of. After fixing Sunny his very own home, I felt like mine needed a few upgrades. So I terraformed the area around my base to give myself some more room to work with. And then I expanded my patio and moved my farm outside, because crops do need sunlight, right? After doing some upgrades, I noticed another abandoned ship off in the distance. This one was different though. It was a giant cruise vessel. That's probably where the people living in the camp came from. I decided to go check it out once it got dark. That way I wouldn't be noticed if there were people aboard. As I crept closer, I quickly realized I wasn't alone.
Ah, no, not more of these guys. This is gonna be tough. What are they hiding on that ship? I have to get on there.
I fought my way through the brutes and ran on board to see what on earth they were hiding, but the ship was abandoned. There were chests around though, so I quickly looted them, giving me some pretty mediocre stuff. But I was able to get a ton of arrows and bones, which are super useful. I did get a few diamonds from here, and even obsidian. But just when I thought I had gotten everything, I found a secret room containing something incredible. A totem of undying. I'm literally unkillable now. I headed right back to my base with another inventory full of loot. I crafted the rest of my diamond armor set and threw everything into my storage unit before heading out on an adventure to find two things: sugarcane and leather. I want to do some enchanting obviously, so it was time to get these two important resources. I ran up and down the coast of the island for what seemed like forever, collecting plenty of sugarcane, and then started the search for cows and leather. But I found something much different than cows.
Is that a crashed helicopter? Oh my gosh, what happened here? What's that? Leave now. This island is not what you think. What on earth does this mean?
I quickly got away from the crash site and got back to finding leather. That place was really strange, and I was actually terrified. After killing plenty of cows for an enchanting setup, I headed back to my base to craft it up. But of course I was missing a very important resource yet again: lapis. I mean, I can't enchant without it. And it makes sense. All of the loot I've gotten so far has been from the temple and the cruise ship. So I guess it's about time I go mining, right? And now I can enchant. After getting some upgraded gear with enchants, I knew I wanted to make my base look a little bit better. So I went out to gather some materials to build with, mainly wood. Yes, I did find myself some spruce wood on the island, and I was sure to grab all of it that I could. And then I did some remodeling to my base. Yep, that's much better. I remembered I had some netherite that I had gotten from the temple, so I crafted a smithing table and upgraded 3 pieces of my armor to netherite. After this, I decided to search around the island for some clues about this place. This island obviously holds a lot of secrets, and I want to know more. Like, where do these skeletons come from? And where are all the people? So I searched high and low for any clues I could find. I didn't leave a rock unturned. A strange figure was down at the bottom of the ravine. I tried to speak with him and let him know that I was friendly. But it was useless. I lost track of him.
Wait a second, is that a map?
Inside a puddle of water was a book and a map. I ran over to them. The book was holding a set of coordinates, and the map was of the island. I took the useful information and followed the coordinates. It led me to a small handmade raft. This could be a way out of the island. It could be dangerous though. I ran back to my base to prepare a care package to keep on the raft, just in case I need to sail away in a hurry. I added things like food, wood, some tools, and a spare boat on here. And then I headed back home. I spent the next few days just doing some much needed things around my base, including farming, organizing, and smelting some ores I had lying around. As I headed outside the next day, I was ambushed by skeletons. They obviously know I haven't left. I've been trying to find out the secrets of this place and find a way out. I fought through the skeletons and another book appeared. Inside was another set of coordinates. So I geared up and followed them. After some time, I ended up at the other end of the island, and right in front of me was a lighthouse. It was overgrown and downright creepy. I quickly realized this wasn't going to be the same thing as the helpful raft, but there must be something important inside. Why else would I get a note with coordinates written down? As I headed inside, I heard voices, and then the Necromancer appeared. I knew I was in trouble.
Guilty, I've warned you to leave this place. I am Highguard and I rule over the island. All that live here must obey me, and you have been living here unwelcomed. You have had the chance to leave willingly, but now you must pay for your trespasses.
This was the most powerful force I had ever been up against, but I knew that killing him would free the island of its curse. I immediately ate one of my god apples and got straight to work on taking this Necromancer down once and for all. Hydard kept spawning in minions to help with the fight, and they were anything but easy to take down. They took so much of my health, I ended up eating my second god apple, and even chugged through my normal golden apples as my health ticked down. After quite some time, I was getting the Necromancer low. I used my bow to tick down his health. And after one last strike of my sword, he had fallen. The island was now free. I was now free. As king of this island, I celebrated. I was so happy to be free of the curse. I also really loved this lighthouse, so I decided to make it into my base. Yeah, that's right. I started by moving all of my things inside and then fixed up the walls, added in my golden block collection, and added in some other essentials. In no time, I had the perfect new base. And that, my friends, is how I survived 100 days as a castaway. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.